Ever wonder why your legs still feel weak or your back keeps aching no matter how many steps you do each day? I see this all the time with people over 60. So today I'm going to show you the real reason walking isn't enough anymore and exactly what you can do to finally feel stronger and move better starting today. First, let's talk about what walking does do for your health so you know which bases are covered if you're someone who walks every single day. So the first and possibly one of the biggest benefits of walking is how good it is for weight management. And walking can burn 300 to 500 calories per hour that you do it, especially if you're walking at a brisk pace or up hills. So it's brilliant for burning fat if that's what you want to do. And one of the nice things about it is that it doesn't run up too much fatigue in your body. So you can walk every single day without a rest day really and still get great benefits, which is unlike doing intense exercise like cycling or running. The second incredible benefit for people who walk a lot is CV health. So your cardiovascular system, your heart and your lungs get an incredible boost when you walk a lot. People who walk often have lower rates of heart disease, they have lower rates of COPD and lung problems. You're just all round going to be healthier, less stroke, less cardiovascular linked disease, even things like dementia can be less for people who walk. So never underestimate the benefits on your cardiovascular system. The third benefit of walking is how it maintains your lower body strength. Now, one of the weaknesses of walking is it's often not enough to increase your lower body strength. For what it can do is keep you where you currently are, especially in your glutes and your quads. If you are someone who's interested in keeping those muscles strong, and you absolutely should be, regardless of your age, walking is a good way to maintain what you've got. And we see how quickly people lose their strength when they stop walking. So certainly keep doing it for those great benefits. The fourth benefit of walking is how well it maintains your bone density. Now, walking gets a lot of criticism because it doesn't actually increase bone density for most people. But what it does do is maintain what you've got. And if you want evidence of this, just look at hospital patients who are laid up, even for short periods like 1 to 2 weeks, they get a dramatic loss of bone density just because they're not walking, they're not stimulating those bones, and they start to lose that bony tissue very fast. The fifth benefit of walking, and this is possibly one of the strongest benefits, is how good it is for mental health. Now, I don't know about you, but this is one of the reasons that I personally walk a lot, and I feel that I'm clearer, my mood is better, I'm less anxious when I'm going for regular walks. Perhaps leave a comment if you've also noticed those effects for yourself. Now, one of the most interesting aspects of this is that people who walk around water or nature have much greater benefits to mental health than people who walk in the city. So if you have the opportunity to go to a waterscape or go to a forest and walk there, that's an excellent thing to do. The sixth benefit to walking is how well it maintains your balance. People who walk a lot have to adjust their feet and their lower body to, cracks in the pavement and stepping over roots and things like that. And you're naturally going to improve your ability to balance. So regular walkers spend a lot less time worrying about falls than people who don't really get out of the house very much. And then the final benefit of walking is how well it can actually boost your longevity. And there's robust data to show that people who walk more do tend to live longer. And it looks something like this. So let's draw a graph here. And let's say that on this x-axis, we've got number of steps increasing this way. And on the y-axis, we've got health. So the higher we are on this axis, the better your health is. And research shows that people who walk less tend to be down here. And when we get to about 6,000 steps, there's a massive jump in health outcomes. People who walk 6,000 steps per day see a dramatic increase, or a dramatic decrease, I should say, in their rates of stroke and dementia and heart disease and sarcopenia and all of these things. Let's say, for argument's sake, this is down at 2K. Now, going up to 10,000 steps per day will get you additional benefits, but you can see here that the improvements start to tail off. And when we get to about 13 or 14,000 steps per day, we're starting to hit that kind of flat line there. You are still going to get a little bit more of a benefit the more you walk, but you get the law of diminishing returns. So 6 to 10,000 steps per day does seem to be the sweet spot for those longevity benefits. So those are the good parts, but what about what walking doesn't do? There are a few things we need to talk about, and I'm going to tell you each one in turn and then how you can fix it. Now, before I show you the exercises involved, I just need to make you aware they're not suitable for everyone, and please avoid them if they cause you pain. The first thing that walking won't give you is an improvement in strength or muscle mass. And what we've already said is that walking can help to maintain muscle and strength, but it won't boost it. For that, you need resistance training. And if you choose your exercises carefully, you actually don't need tons of exercises to cover all your bases. And I've got two really good ones to show you today. Here's the first one. It's called the goblet squat. And for it, you're going to need a dumbbell or a bag filled up with books, something heavy you can hold to your chest. So you're going to pick up your dumbbell like this. You're going to hold it to your chest here. And the movement is pretty simple. You're going to stick your bottom out and bend your knees and sink down into a squat like this. Now you only have to go as far as you feel comfortable, and then you come back up. So if just going down to 50, 60 degrees is comfortable for you, do that. If you go down to 90 like me, then do that. What's important here is that we're getting the right muscles working, and we keep doing it to the point of fatigue. So we want to keep doing the movement until we start to feel tiredness in the quads, which are the muscles at the front of the thigh, and the glutes, which are the muscles at the back of the hip. Now, once you've done a set of that to fatigue, have a break for a minute and repeat 3 sets in total. Once you've done that, you can move on to the next resistance training exercise. Now, before I show you that exercise, if you're someone who's interested in getting as strong as possible, regardless of your age, one of the best things you can do is download our free Stronger for Life roadmap. All it is 10 questions where you answer those questions to reveal your level of mobility and strength. And based on your answers, we will send you a plan which is tailored to your ability to help you improve and get to the next level. It's 100% free. It's one of the best things I've ever created, and you can find it in the description box below this video. The second exercise you can do to strengthen your body in ways that walking simply can't is the bent over row. And this is a brilliant exercise to strengthen all of the muscles in your back and also some of the muscles in your arm as well, namely your biceps. So for this exercise, you're either going to need 2 dumbbells or a barbell, and they can start off quite light because if you get the technique right on this, you don't need tons of weight to make it work. Here is how it looks. You're going to stand facing your dumbbells or your barbell when it's on the floor, bend down and pick them up and just rest them on the fronts of your legs like this. Then you're going to bend your knees and stick your bottom out whilst keeping your back nice and straight. So this is your starting position, okay? So my back is not bending, it's my hips that are sticking out and my knees are just slightly bent. The weights are still resting on my knees. Keeping your neck relaxed, you're then just gonna pull the dumbbells up to touch your tummy and then let them back down like this. So we wanna allow the shoulder blades to relax and then we pull them together like this. And you're just gonna alternate between these two positions. So out here, and then up like this. So let them out and then pull them up. And basically, again, just going to keep going until you start to feel some fatigue in those muscles at the back of your body. So behind your shoulder blades, there are muscles called the rhomboids, and just underneath your shoulder blades, here we've got muscles called the lats. When you start to feel tiredness there, that means you've done the right thing. So ideally, you're going to hit that between 10 and 20 repetitions, do 3 sets total with a short break in between, and then we can move on to the next thing that walking doesn't give us. The second thing that walking won't give you is an increase in bone density. Now, we already discussed how walking is good for maintaining bone density, and you need it, but it won't directly increase bone density for most people. There are actually only 2 physical exercise methods that can help you increase it. And the first we've already covered, which is resistance training. So you've got that ticked off. The second is impact exercise. And there's a lot of different impact training methods you can use. Some people can jump, some people can hop, but I know many of the people watching this, that's just out of the question. It's simply not safe. But this is a nice middle ground for those who can't jump and hop, but they still want some impact training. But before I show you it, if you've got osteoporosis already, be very careful and definitely get individual advice before you try it. It's called heel drops, and here is how it looks. You just need something to hold on to. So I'm going to use my wall like this. You're going to stand with your feet about hip width apart, then you're going to go up onto your tiptoes like this, and then briskly drop back down. Now, what's happening when we do this exercise is we're sending a shock wave up our legs into the hip, but it's not an unhealthy shock. It's just the ground reacting with your foot and your body is cushioning the blow. So that force goes up through your bones and the bones sense that force. And based on that force, they say, oh, we need to be nice and strong. So it's almost sending a signal to your bones that they need to lay down new bony tissue to strengthen, particularly in the neck of the femur where most fractures happen. So with this exercise, I would recommend repeating 10 to 20 of these in a row and try and do it like an exercise snack. So come back to it several times per day. If you could do that 3 times a day spread throughout, that would be amazing. And it will almost certainly improve your bone density, but it will take time. So we're talking 6 months or a year to get a noticeable change, but it's worth it if you can prevent loss of bone. Next, walking alone is almost never enough to improve your mobility or flexibility. When we walk, although we are helping our joints to remain supple, we're not really taking those joints through a full range of motion. So for people who only walk, they can still end up stiff in key joints like their knees or their ankles. So there's many different exercises you can do to counteract this, and they're all really effective, but here are 2 of my favorites. The first is the quads stretch. And the quad stretch is the old one you might have seen in PE class back in the day, where you hold on to something, you bring your knee up like this, and you pull back until you feel a stretch in your quad. But for many people watching this, it's going to be difficult to grab their ankle and they won't be able to bring their knee back, especially if you've got a stiff knee. So here is what I would have you do instead. Get a towel like this, make sure you've got something to hold on to for balance, then take your towel and just loop it around the ankle and hold the end of the towel like that. So now instead of having to hold your ankle, you're just holding the bottom of the towel. Keep hold of something like this, and then you can take your leg just gently out behind you and pull the towel up towards your bottom until you get a stretch in your thigh. You want to try and keep your knees close together. Definitely keep them parallel. Don't let this one come out to the side, otherwise the stretch goes away. So keep it here, and you can just gently bring that knee behind you if you want to exaggerate the stretch. Don't arch your back. Keep your back in a nice position like this and just hold for 30 seconds. And I recommend doing 1 30-second hold on each side, but coming back to it a couple of times a day if you find that useful. Now, the second stretch we're going to do is the calf stretch. And this is a brilliant stretch for these muscles here, and it also helps you loosen up stiff ankles. Here is how it looks. You just need something to hold on to. And then for this one, you're going to put one of your feet behind you like this, with the heel flat on the floor, both feet pointing forward in parallel. The back leg is nice and straight, and then bend that front knee until you feel a gentle stretch in your calf at the back. And we want to hold that stretch again for 30 seconds, and then you can swap over and do the other side. And again, these are best done multiple times per day, coming back to it over and over again. And for most people, you're going to feel a difference in your flexibility as quickly as 2 weeks of doing this daily. It really doesn't take that long. And it's a wonderful pairing for walking for people who do lots of it. So hopefully that helps. Let's have a look at the final thing we need to work on now. The final thing that walking won't necessarily improve is your balance. And even though walking can help to maintain balance, if you've been feeling a bit more wobbly lately, the best way to improve it is not by more walking, but by training it directly. So I've got a brilliant balance exercise. This is especially good for people who do like to walk a lot. It's called the floor star, and here is how it looks. But first, we need to make sure you're set up safely. So if you're someone who's a bit wobbly, set yourself up between the corner of 2 walls like this, so your back is almost facing that corner, because we call that the safety corner, because if you wobble, your shoulders are just going to hit the wall. You're not going to fall over. So I'm going to set up with a little bit more room here just so you can see me better. And the exercise that we're going to do looks something like this. You're going to stand just on one leg, and you're going to imagine you've got 4 points of a diamond around you, or a star, and you're just going to reach and touch each point of that diamond with your free leg. And I stress just touch. We're not actually weight bearing through the foot. We're just touching the big toe on the floor and then moving to the next one. And you can see on my standing leg here, my foot shaking like this to try and adjust to my changing center of gravity, which means that my balance on this foot is certainly improving. Once you've done a set of 30 seconds or so, then swap sides and you can mix and match. You can do any order you want. You can go front, back, and then out to the side. Going across the body is pretty tough. You can go behind and across the body as well. You can really get creative with this, and just practicing for a few minutes a day can make a massive, massive difference. So once you've done that, you've ticked off all of the things that walking doesn't give you. So you can pair your walking hobby with these and cover all your health bases. So I hope you found that useful. If you have, please do drop a comment below and let us know. I've got another video on the screen right now, which will show you how to build more strength in the muscles that are most important for walking. So click on that if you're interested, and I'll see you again on the next one.